And how's it going, Hornets fans? Welcome back to another edition of Inside the Nest. I'm your host, John Schneider, bringing you our round three, the quarterfinal preview of your Roswell Hornets taking on the Sequoyah Chiefs for some Black Friday ball. Also, happy belated Thanksgiving, because this will be coming out the day after Thanksgiving. But, again, Hornets defeat the Clark Central Gladiators rather easily, in very similar fashion to the way they destroyed, in my opinion, Chambly. But really, if I want my take on that game, Chambly felt a lot more competitive from me just being on the field and what everything is there. So, anyways, now here's where the fun begins. Not only do the Hornets no longer have a home game the rest of the year, we are back in a familiar territory here where we are going on the road. Yes, road games are back. Road games out to the middle of nowhere, Georgia, are back. Why? Because not only after this, I mean, granted, Canton's not too far away from Roswell. It's probably the closest road game Roswell would have played all year. Canton's only 20 minutes away from the Nest. But since the other side of the bracket, so if Roswell were to beat Sequoyah and move on to the state semifinals, they would have to go on the road to either Woodward Academy or Thomas County Central. I am now praying that Woodward Academy pulled an upset. Not only would that increase the Hornets' chances to go into the state championship game, but also it makes the drive a whole lot easier, rather going 40 minutes than 4 hours down south, which at that point you're practically in Florida. Such is life in Georgia 5A high school football. When you're taking on these teams, you got to go on the road and you got to take care of business, especially if you're going to win a state title. Anyways, enough chit chat. Let's get into it. All right, Sequoyah. They score a lot of points. You're going to dive into the strengths here. Very high octane offense, but they're methodical at that. They're not on you like that, like Buford is, or like Carrollton, or granted, Buford's really the only comparative thing we can really compare that to, since that's who Roswell's played. They haven't played Carrollton or Grayson or whoever, which, yeah. So, anyways, they most nearly mirror Roswell, I think, in 5A. The closest, really. Well, to Roswell's pull, no, not really. No, I don't know why I'm coming there. Just points per game wise, Roswell averages 40. They average 42. This will be a very high scoring affair between the Chiefs and the Hornets here. They build off their run game significantly. Will Rejecki, we'll get into this when we break down their impact players of the game. Will Rejecki, phenomenal running back. I'm not sure what star rating he is. I can look that up here later. But the dude's got 1,800 yards on the season and almost 30 touchdowns. That's pretty, in the region that they're in. Like, they've played Sprayberry, they've played Woodstock, they've played River Ridge, which River Ridge is their only loss, and that was kind of, River Ridge is a solid team. That was kind of a weird, inexplicable loss to some degree for them. Just mistakes and turnovers really hurt them there. But breaking down the season, Sequoyah 11-1, first in Region 6. They are their Region 6 champions. 33rd, ranked 33rd in the state according to Max Preps, and 9th in the classification. Best wins, Sprayberry, as mentioned before. Sprayberry was a playoff team this year. I think that was really their whole side of the bracket was just murderer's row. At this point, like, Sprayberry did not really deserve to be, like, if you put Sprayberry in any other portion of anyone else's quarter of the 5A bracket, they were not a first round exit team. They just happened to play Lee County. So, and they beat Sprayberry 63-20. So that shows you kind of just how good this team is. Woodstock, very quality win over them, 31-24, a lot closer. Again, region game, Woodstock was a playoff team again this year. I think they made it to the second round and then ended up losing. Then they obviously just coming off a win over Noonan, which that game was close, and then they just pulled away the last 5 minutes. I think they literally put up four touchdowns in the remaining 6 to go. So they can put points on you like that. They really can. Well, again, a lot of their offense is predicated around how well their run game's doing, and then they really heavily lean on play action. And any tape I've seen, it's either a handoff to Rejecki, and then how they roll off that with Colby Martin, their quarterback, into play action. Typically, that'll hit Brooks Darling here. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah. Sorry, that's not as clean as we like it here, but, we ball. Anyways, heavy play action, heavy run game team. They love to run the crap out of the ball. Again, phenomenal run game, great on play action, high octane offense, closest to RHS we've seen all year, besides outside of Buford and Gainesville, which we're not going to get into. This is a Roswell show. We're not here to break down anything on about the whole Gainesville versus GHSA thing here. Well, if you want my take on that, go over to Atlanta Sportscast, my other show that I do. Now, impact players, as mentioned before, Will Wojcicki, running back number 3. He's a senior. Look out for him. I know I got some feedback that you're going to want to obviously probably know the numbers of these players. Look out for him. So, Will Wojcicki, running back number 3 for the Chiefs, 1,800 yards in the season. That's 300 more he had than last year, and the season's still going. Like, he significantly upped his play from last year. It's ridiculous. His back-to-back seasons for him with 15 plus yards and 20 plus rushing touchdowns, which is ridiculous. That output is crazy. He'll get you for 213 all purpose a game. That's 2 bills. That's how you limit him will heavily play into this game. And this is very like Hornets of Roswell has not had the best time this year when facing running backs of this caliber. A la Nigel Newkirk, a la the Buford boys that they've got running around up there, and McCoy and all them. And then, like, they did a good job actually of controlling Nushi Valente. I'm not sure. They did a great job of limiting the playmakers for Clark Central this past week, especially Valente, who's pretty good running back. Not to the caliber of Wojcicki, but still really good caliber. Same with Legration Little got one touchdown, but that was when the second team was in. And again, they've done a pretty good job when it comes to the big pass catching playmakers. But I mean, that's just a product of how well the secondary is built for the Hornets. So again, Wojcicki, can you limit him? I'm not saying contain him. That's impossible. You can't contain players like this, like you can't contain Trey Smith. Like it's the same thing, right? You're not going to be able to contain a 5-star player, but you might be able to limit him in some aspects. So it'll be interesting to see how the Hornets tackle that. Now, the quarterback, Colby Martin, he does play baseball. So, I mean, the kind of general rule of thumb is baseball players do make really good quarterbacks. I mean, you can see it here. Trey Smith is shortstop for baseball, for varsity baseball for us. Colby Martin plays varsity baseball for Sequoyah. So, typically they make really good quarterbacks. They're really accurate, which he is. 19-2 interception to touchdown interception ratio on the year. He's very accurate. I mean, not a whole lot of yards, close to approaching 2,000. So he's had a pretty solid senior season. And then if you want the top target, you're going to go to Brooks Darling, just number 4. Yeah, Colby Martin's number 2. Apologies for that. 63 yards per game. He'll get his. He's very he's there. He'll make some catches throughout the game. Now, defense. Okay. They got a really good linebacker tandem between Drew Williams and Michael Fountain. Both are madmen. Both are in like middle linebacker roles, but they get sacks. They are combined 12 sacks on the year, and for high school football, that's pretty good. Tackle for loss machines. Williams is kind of that Range Rover where he's just all over the place and just making he's the leading tackler. Why I say tackler. So, it's, again, early in the morning and we're recording this. So, anyways, again, so that's players you're going to be looking out for on Sequoyah. How you win. Force them into uncomfortable situations. This is the formula that Ridge used, basically. They had a pick 6, multiple tackles for loss. They stoned them a couple times down inside the 5 when Sequoyah was about to score. It's really just how uncomfortable can you make Sequoyah, and they will, in my opinion, they will give you some opportunities. And what can you do with those opportunities? Which rolls us into the next key is, can you be clutch? How opportunistic can this defense be? This defense has been opportunistic all year long, where it's been picks, goal line stands on a 4th and 1 from the 1 against Gainesville, the stops on 2 for 2-point conversions against Milton. Like, I lean Roswell in that aspect and how good they've been opportunistically, and when it's been nut crunch time and they've gotten it done. So again, whoever makes the most stops on defense wins this game. I think I saw something earlier that That's really the key to this game. I think that place predicted Roswell to win 38-35. But again, can't contain Rajecki. Can you slow him down? That's, to me, I think that would be the key focal point. You got to get pressure on Martin. Can you put him in uncomfortable situations? He will throw you the ball. Again, he's been pretty conservative with that, but you put him in uncomfortable situations, the offensive line gets a little flustered from what I've seen, and they really put them behind the 8 ball. Really, Gainesville formula. That's what you got to go with this. Maybe not as high power of a defense as Gainesville, but even then, you still put up nearly 40 on Gainesville. So I'm not really worried about scoring points for this team. More so, how well do you really limit the running game when you go up against a caliber running back like Rajecki? Again, I know I keep saying his name, Rajecki. He will hurt you. He can't take over this game. Don't get that wrong. He will put up 2 bills on you, and he will get 2 touchdowns. That just sets up their entire play action scheme that they want to run. So that is Sequoyah pretty much in a nutshell, and they're really, really good at it. Now, unfortunately, at the end of the Clark Central game, McDaniels did sustain an injury, so I'm hoping he'll be back for this. That kind of doesn't seem. I don't love that. You're gonna need him going in. He's one of our best cornerbacks. McDaniels, him, and Christian English, they're amazing. And then you have I think probably you're gonna look at You're probably gonna see a lot of Daniel Battershell if he's not that good. If he's not really ready to go there, which is number 12. Daniels is 15, so that's trying to nullify any confusion there. Safety's healthy, pretty much a clean slate on the injury report. Still no Vi Piana. Questionable. I'd say probably Daniels is questionable. We'll see. You got Jake Smith back. In my opinion, that was huge. Just how athletic your defense, the athleticism of your defense becomes more. Really, in that standpoint, you are already pretty athletic with Duffy and Presnall and every other linebacker you have. Which, like, this team's defensive strength is the back 7. In my opinion, and just how crazy athletic they are. The front 4 is pretty good too. Like, it's not that easy to pick out flaws for this team. But having Jake Smith back, he was ripping off heads practically. It looked like he's flying all over the freaking place against Clark Central. So that was great. Number 30 again. So I feel really good about this game. This is going to be a lot more of a challenge for the Hornets going into this. It is on the road. It is, again, it's Black Friday ball. But now we're going to move into score predictions here. I mean, come on now. Like, come on now. Okay. Anyways, taking bias all out of it. Give me the Hornet. Give me Roswell. Let's say Roswell 38. Roswell 38. Sequoyah 27. I feel good about that. Give me Roswell 38, Sequoyah 27. That is my final score prediction for this game. Roswell, in my opinion, should move on to the semifinals here. I think talent wins this game for the Hornets. It's not like Sequoyah doesn't. They're chock full of it. I think that the gap of talent disparity here overpowers the Hornets over the Chiefs. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning into this edition of Inside the Nest, this playoff preview of Inside the Nest, and we will hopefully have, knock on wood here, 2 more of these after, and hopefully we're talking about a magical run for your Hornets here, continuing. Be sure to keep on and tuning into Inside the Nest on YouTube and here on Spotify. If you get it here on Spotify, I know from statistics, not really so much here on Spotify, but on YouTube. Here on YouTube, if you're watching this here on YouTube, well, yeah. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to keep up with your Hornets. Bring you all the sports news, highlights, and sports talk around your favorite Roswell High School teams. I'm John Schneider. Thank you so much for listening, and so long, everybody, and have a great holiday season, and happy Black Friday, I guess, now, which, I mean, that's kind of weird to say, but happy belated Thanksgiving. So long, everybody.